Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How you doing today? Well, I'm going to try to finish up this book in today's video, okay? So, we're going to start out with talking about that Unpo 4, and this is mentioned a lot in this book, okay? And it's the Unprofor, okay? This Unpo 4, or for those who don't know them, okay, it's the United Nations Protection Forces. That's what it stands for, okay? Were awaited as saviors. When they first arrived in Bosnia and Herzegovina with their white vehicles and blue berets. Yeah. As time went on, they proved to be powerless. Now they are helping in repairs of the infrastructure and cleaning the city. They are also establishing bureaucratic rules of their own. In some instances, proven to be good merchants, they are driving around in trucks, jeeps, transporters. Children are climbing onto their vehicles, and soldiers are throwing them sweets. They transport the wounded, bringing humanitarian aid, drive from and to the airport. In short, nothing is done without them. The Unpro 4 headquarters is in the Building of Communication Engineering at Alipazino Polje. Soldiers are in the barracks, which were formerly inhabited by the soldiers of the Yugoslav People's Army. The main headquarters of the Unpro 4's commander is in the private villa. All these successions seem to be very natural. Now, the philanthropic organizations are Merhamet, Caritas, Dobrotvorë, and ADRA, ADRA. Support to its members and sympathizers gives to the Croatian you get it, organization called NAPRADAC. Although some of these organizations help their members first, and although some of them are based on religious affiliation, Merhamet, Muslim, Caritas, Catholic, Dobrotvorë, or Serbian Orthodox, they are open for the members of other groups. Many are on all lists in this poverty. Caritas and ADRA are even bringing in letters to home addresses. The Jewish community established the War Kitchen, which is open to all. Haircuts are available in some places within shortened working hours. Everybody wears a coat. There are no lines. It is mostly soldiers who come. Some want to have their head shaved so that a lily is drawn on the skull. Wow. A haircut and dyeing are worth 30 DM. Just so you'll know, salary of those who still work and have something to do is between 10 and 30 DM. By the way, former jobs are now called work obligations. Funny, that term, work obligations. Watch repairmen are working, as are the opticians, locksmiths, electricians, plumbers, carpenters. They will still visit your home if only you can find them. Be ready to pay in hard currency. So what this is telling me here is if in today's society, if you are a hairdresser, okay, like I used to be a hairdresser, and I still do cut hair. I still do all of that, okay, even though, you know, I stopped doing it professionally a long time ago. I still do it for family and friends. If you are, know how to repair watches, if you are a locksmith, an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, a mechanic, or anything like this, you and your time after an SHTF situation, and I've said this on multiple occasions, are going to be so valuable. It's going to be unfathomable. I just be ready to pay in hard currency for these people to come to your home to fix what is broken, or even just to get a haircut. So in a SHTF situation, okay, and say that you have a what they call a work obligation. Say you still hold a job, okay, after an SHTF situation, and you have to keep up with appearances, okay, and you need your hair cut, and I have to come to your home to give you a haircut. Be ready to pay in hard currency, not just bartering anymore, hard currency, okay, which would either be silver or gold, okay, and be also ready to, because this 10 to 30 DM was in 1992. So that 10 to 30 DM, which was in Deutschmark, okay, in today's society, with today's prices, with inflation, possibly hyperinflation, paying in silver or gold, you're looking at paying about 200 in silver or gold for a haircut, for your work obligation, for me to come to your home to get a haircut. So keep that in mind. So now photographs, okay, are being made only in the shop next to the Partisan Movie House, okay? They are ready in 24 hours. When there is no electricity, the photographer is making bad Polaroids. When there is no electricity and when matters are urgent, photographers will come to help you. Now, photocopying, only two places, in the bookstore or in the presidency building. The latter choice functions all the time, but has one disadvantage. You need to know the right man. Well, yeah, in this kind of a situation, in a real SHTF situation, you're going to need to know the right people. That's why I said in the previous Sarajevo video, in your mag, it would be wise of you to have people from all walks of life, who are all tradesmen. So, like, you would want that mechanic, you would want that hairdresser, you would want that chef, or you would want that plumber, the electrician, okay? That would be wise to have these types of people who are of the prepared mind, who are trustworthy in your mag, okay? Now, medical care. Its main characteristic is very friendly personnel, which was not the case before the war. It is very efficient. Aside from the hospital and emergency rooms, you will hear quickly about all the improvised ambulances. The maternity hospital has been shelled and is out of use. So babies are born in the regular hospital. When visiting the dentist, you should take a bottle of water and gloves, which you can use while treating you. So you have to bring your own uh, stuff with you in order to be treated. So your own water, your own gloves, you know what I mean? So what does that tell you? Start stocking up on medical supplies, because in a SHTF situation, when you have to go see a medical professional, if they're still around, you might have to bring your own medical supplies. Pharmacies are working, but medicine is mostly missing. Bring your own vitamins in emergency. Look for locations of benevolencia and caritas. So now is the time to start doing your homework with vitamins, okay, if you are on any kind of medications, okay? The Veterinarian's Clinic, so for those of us that are pet owners, okay, is on Daniel Osmo Street in the store where they used to sell hi-fi equipment. Its hours are from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Lines are very long, and the service is full, including very complex surgical operations. Sarajevo became the city of abandoned pedigree dogs who are sadly roaming the streets, frozen, hungry, and wounded. Their owners have left Sarajevo and left them behind, where they don't have food or even feed themselves. That's sad. As a pet owner, that's sad. Sarajevans nowadays go for picnics in Bistrik, or to visit the pipes nearby the radio and television building, all in order to find and get some water. Departure is usually around 6 o'clock in the morning, and the outfit is hiker style. The picnic lasts approximately 5 to 6 hours, some en route, walking, some in line waiting. Wow. Excursions demand quite a bit of courage. The best known journalist route lead to the front lines. The south slope of Trebevic, Old Sephardic Jewish cemetery destroyed by Serbian trenches. Kabilja Glava, north exit from the city Zuk, a hill which dominates the north side of the city limits. Verbanja Bridge, on which the first casualty of the war fell on April 5th, 1992. A young student named Suada, Suada, a modern part of the city with burned high-rises and numerous grenades falling from the hills all the time. Sarajevans once loved their hills, and the fact that city was like a bird in the green nest. In the war, these hills are the sites where the death of Sarajevo is being engineered and spread around daily as an exchange for foreign currency or for food and drinks. You can find a guide who will take you to all these places and more, to Dobrija, the new part of the city which was built for the 1984 Winter Olympics, is now divided by trenches. Many of its buildings were burned, with cemeteries between the blocks. On the former playgrounds to Stup, S-T-U-P, an old neighborhood on the road to west, with the old Catholic church, which burned to the ground, to Otes, O-T-E-S, a medieval village, which became the part of the town with almost 10,000 inhabitants, and which does not exist since the beginning of December of 1992. You can also visit Igman, a mountain once known for its beautiful terrains, where you could meet wild does and wildcats, or go to the residential complex of Josep Broz Tito, where the first casino opened for the 1984 Winter Olympics. For some of these sites, you can get coffee, alcohol, meat, and vegetables for a price which is much lower than on the black market. The combination of this mercantile enterprise might lower significantly the price of your tour and the amount of your fare. Tours from the city cannot be organized to Jahorina, former famous ski resort, now the military base of the aggressor, the Trebevic, former sledding route, now a front line, to Pali, air spa, swimming pool, bowling, now the military political capital of the enemy, to Borik, horseback riding, now cut off from information, Treskavica, hunting and fishing, now a front line, Ilidizia, thermal spa, now occupied, ethnically cleansed territory with a military base. For the people of Sarajevo, each time they leave their home is a major outing. To visit a friend is an event. Paths lead through the back doors, over fences, through gardens, far from the dangerous roads. Visits usually end by staying overnight, for life ends in the early afternoon. In fact, the war parties are the best kind of entertainment. Once they start, they last until the morning. Hosts are those who, for that evening, have either the electricity or the drinks. Cemeteries. The beautiful and old Sarajevo cemeteries have been ruined by growing needs. They have been reopened when two contemporary cemeteries, Bear and Vlakovo, became inaccessible. Small old cemeteries, which were active for certain neighborhoods, even streets, were closed in 1878. With the arrival of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, more than a century later, they started functioning again. People are being buried next to the mosques, on playgrounds, in front of their houses. The old military cemeteries, Austrian, of the first Yugoslavian, German, and a partisan one, are full. Since September, the small stadiums in the sports complex, Kosovo, was turned into a cemetery too. Funerals are held in the early morning or dusk hours to avoid the shelling. There is a rule not to go to the funerals and not to have flowers and wreaths. They cannot be bought anyway, even if someone would want to. Going out of town. Officially, there is no such thing as going out of town. Since April of 1992, the city has been forced to turn itself and to greet those who come fulfilling their diplomatic, journalistic, and humanitarian tasks. Wow. I'm not going to be able to fit all of this into this video. I don't want this video to get too long. So we'll leave it out of this, okay? And then we'll start off with another video tomorrow night, okay? And we'll start with Convoy. Oh boy. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fearless.